Hi, welcome. I'm going to lead you through a Vinyasa yoga class that focuses on the alignment in the feet and legs. And we're actually going to begin by lying on our backs, on our mats. You can start with the knees bent. Allow the heaviness of the bones to ground you down, connect you to the earth. If it's comfortable to extend the heels away from the crown of the head one by one, you can do that. If that causes any discomfort in the lower back, just keep the knees bent with the feet as wide as the mat and let the knees fall in towards each other. So the legs can relax and the low back is supported. Wherever you're working, we will begin by checking in with ourselves before we really get moving. Bring your awareness to the breath. And notice the quality of your breath in this moment. Notice if the chest feels tight or open. If the breath is short or long. If the inhale or the exhale bears more weight. And then begin to consciously deepen the breath. Bring the awareness to the diaphragm, that muscle below the ribs that facilitates the breath. As you inhale deeply, feel it expand downward. And as you exhale completely, feel it soften and spread wide across the back body plane. With your next inhale, take the awareness past the diaphragm, down into the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. And as you exhale completely, allow the body to sink into the support of the ground beneath you. Have a few more breaths, just like that. Feeling the connection to the earth, the support that she is always offering us. And then we'll begin a quick scan through the physical body, starting at the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. As you inhale, draw the awareness up through the legs, into the pelvis, the hips, the low back. Notice any areas of tension, soreness, general discomfort. And as you inhale, breathe into those places, gently opening and expanding with the in-breath. As you exhale completely, allow some of that tension, soreness, discomfort to leave the body with the breath. The next inhale draws the awareness up the torso, into the shoulders, the neck, and the face. Again, just noticing where in the upper body you're holding tension today. And using the breath to bring the awareness there. Breathing into those places, creating space for fresh oxygen and blood to flow through those places, bringing health, healing, and vitality. And as you exhale completely, continuing this ongoing conversation of asking the body to soften, release, and let go. Lastly, bring the awareness to the mind. And notice where your thoughts are at. Notice the speed at which they're moving through you. And then allow yourself to take a big step back from identifying as the thoughts and begin to witness their passing like clouds through the sky without getting attached and carried away, without judging yourself for what you're thinking about, but just beginning to notice the habits and patterns in the way the mind turns. And then bring the awareness back and anchor it fully on the breath. Have a few more of those deep, long breaths, breathing down into the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. And as you exhale, spreading wide, sinking into the support of the ground beneath you. I like to begin all the classes I teach this way, lying on our backs, because the stacking of the bones and joints in the back body plane is where the blueprint for optimal alignment of the physical body exists. So when the bones and joints stack in the back body plane like this, the skeletal system is able to support us as it was intended to. And the muscles don't have to work as hard. Lying here like this is creating a muscle memory of this alignment in the physical body. We're going to look for and return to it throughout the practice and in all the poses today and forever and ever. With an inhale, you can reach the arms up and overhead. Give yourself a big stretch from fingertips to tippy toes. Exhale here. Inhale, draw the knees into the chest. You can rock from side to side a little bit to massage the low back if that feels good to you. And when you're ready, roll to one side. Press down with the palms to lift up. And come to a comfortable seated position. Inner rotate the thighs to move the flesh of the buttocks out. So you can really feel the sits bones, those two bones at the base of the pelvis that we're sitting on. We want to make sure that we're pressing evenly into both sides, not slouching into the back body or leaning into the front body as we ground down evenly. Inhale, lift and lengthen through the crown of the head and the tips of the ears. As you exhale, soften the shoulders together, down and center of the shoulder blades into the spine. Lean gently back to stack the vertebrae. So we're going to be focusing a lot on the alignment in the feet and legs today, because that's the foundation of our standing poses. It's the foundation of how we stand, walk, and carry ourselves through the world. The feet and legs govern our connection to our pasts, our connection to the earth, and our connection to our physical body, ourselves, the health and vitality there. And the foundational principle is the same in all the poses. We press what is on the earth down into the earth to get the leverage to lift up. The same way that the beliefs and values that we place at the foundation of our relationships, our yoga practice, our lives, are the building blocks that enable us to create whatever we're going to build on top of them. So as you continue to show up on your mat, you begin to see the practice as a laboratory in which to study and observe yourself. We're going to use the time in this space today as we focus on the alignment of the feet and legs to think about what values and beliefs we place at the foundation of our practice and our lives. Recognizing that these values and beliefs are really important because they create the perimeters, the limitations of what is even possible for us to do and be and create. With an inhale, you can press down through the sits bones and reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale through the mouth with sound, release the arms down. 2 more times like that to empty the body out. Inhale deeply through the nose. Exhale completely through the mouth. Once more, inhale, reach past the skin and fingertips. And exhale, let it all go. And then we'll take a moment to connect more deeply to our breath. We'll cultivate Ujjayi breath, inhaling and exhaling through the nose throughout the practice today. And Ujjayi breath means that we're doing that, but we're tightening up through the back of the throat like you're fogging up a mirror. So in general, breathing in and out through the nose constricts the air passage, well, makes a smaller air passageway. It slows the breath down, which is calming for the nervous system. Tightening up through the back of the throat further constricts the air passageway, slowing the breath down, generating a heat in the body that clears the energy channels, and generating a sound that's like waves crashing on the shore that allows the mind to have a focal point to return to throughout the practice. So tightening up through the back of the throat, inhale deeply through the nose, and exhale completely through the nose. Continue at your own pace, making sure that the breath becomes gently audible. And then when you're ready, you can inhale and open the eyes. We can continue this breath work throughout the whole practice. We'll come on to tabletop pose, hands and knees, grounding the knees under the hips, the wrists under the shoulders, spreading the fingers wide. As you inhale, drop the abdomen down, arch the back, gaze up. As you exhale, press down through all the knuckle mounds and curl the back of the heart to the ceiling. Continue at your own pace. Sync the motions of the body with the breath. Use the breath to deepen the motions of the body. Allow the synchronicity to bring you fully and completely into the present moment. Move in any way that feels good to you within the confines of the shapes. Allowing the mind to receive the wisdom of the body. And then when you are ready, you can tuck your toes, lift your hips high, and come into downward facing dog, making that V shape with your body. Take the feet as wide as the hips and play with turning the outer edge of the feet parallel with the outer edge of the mat. Inhale, lift and spread the fingers and toes. Notice how that engages the muscles in the arms. And as you exhale, on the arms and legs, and as you exhale, lower the toes and fingers, but keep that engagement. From the grounding down into the earth, inhale, lift the abdomen, lift the hips high. And as you exhale, press the thigh bones up and back to where the wall meets the ceiling. See if you can feel how that creates space in the lower back. If your hips are really tight, you might need to work with your knees bent. You want to just make sure you bend them right over the ankles, keeping them as wide as the ankles. And then same thing, inhale and lift the hips up. From the back of the knees, press down through the heels. From the back of the knees, lift towards the sits bones. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an inhale, flow forward into plank pose. Pausing here. You want to lift the hips to the height of the shoulders and then root the tailbone down, extending the energy towards the heels. From that activation in the legs, we inhale and lift the abdomen towards the spine, lift the back of the heart to meet the shoulder blades, and extend through the crown of the head. Have 1 more big breath. And then exhale, lower knees, chest, and chin to the mat. Press the tops of the feet down. And inhale, lift the heart. Roll the shoulders back. Everything that's on the ground presses firmly into the ground to give you the leverage to lift the heart and the crown of the head more. The shoulders roll together down and into the back body. And notice if you're crunching into one part of your neck, and instead drop the chin down a little bit. Make length. With your next exhale, seat to heels, come to child's pose. Allow the weight of the pelvis to settle fully towards the heels. And from that grounding of the lower body, inhale, breathe length and space into each vertebrae in the spine. Exhale. Soften more deeply into the stretch. With your next inhale, rise, hands and knees. Exhale, press it back, downward facing dog. Again, with the feet as wide as the hips, playing with turning the outer edge of the feet parallel with outer edge of the mat. Seeing if you can feel how that turns the thigh bone in the hip socket. As you inhale, lift and spread the toes, lift the abdomen and lift the hips. As you exhale, press out through the four corners of the hands, the feet. Let the crown of the head hang heavy. For 3 more deep, long breaths. Taking the thigh bones up and back, rooting the heels down without compromising that space in the lower back. With your next inhale, you can begin to tippy-toe the feet forward to meet the hands. Coming into a standing forward bend at the front of the mat. If you need to bend the knees to ground the palms here, feel free to do that. Let the head hang heavy. Let the abdomen come towards the thighs. Shake the head, yes, and no. Grab opposite elbows and sway. Move in any way that feels good to release the tension from the back, the shoulders, and the neck. Let it go through the crown of the head. And then with an inhale, return to center. And exhale, release the arms down. With your next inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. So just taking a moment to check in with the foundation and the alignment in the feet and legs. Taking the feet as wide as the hips. Turning the feet parallel to the outer edge of the mat. As you inhale, lift and spread the toes and press the thigh bones back. So you're sticking your booty out behind you a little bit. Center of the hips, come over the knees and ankles. Maintaining those thigh bones back as you exhale, lower the toes and draw the center of the buttocks into the midline to root the tailbone down. Feel how that engages the muscles all the way down on all sides of the legs. Tightening your connection to the earth. So whenever we have a misalignment, we're losing energy as the body works towards its goals. From this grounding in the lower body, inhale and reach the arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back to plank pose and lower. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga dandasana. Inhale, lift the heart, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, lift the hips high. Downward facing dog. Return to the breath. As you inhale, lifting the abdomen towards the spine and lifting the hips high. As you exhale, pressing the thigh bones back. Pressing from the back of the knees down through the heels. You can see your quadriceps, so make sure they're engaged. Muscles hugging into the bones. And that you're not sinking into the knee joint, right? If you know that your legs hyperextend, take that slight bend in the knees right over the ankles and lift the hips high. Then from the back of the knees, press down through the heels. One more big breath. And then with an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet. to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply into the legs. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. With an inhale, reach the arms up once again. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, ground to palm, step or jump back and lower. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, lift the heart. Roll the shoulders back. Exhale, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Return to the breath. Have 5 deep, long breaths. Feeling the pulsation between pressing down to lift up and drawing in to shine out. With an inhale, gaze forward, step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply into the legs. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. Oops. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, gaze forward, get leg. Exhale, ground the palm, step or jump back and lower. Inhale, lift the heart, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Return to the breath. Pressing down into the earth to lift the abdomen, the hips high. Drawing energetically in and up from the earth, from the floor to the core, and then from the center, pressing out in all directions. With an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply over the legs. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. Continuing to check in with the alignment in the feet and legs each time you return to Tadasana, mountain pose at the top of the mat. Generally, we all have one foot that goes out, forward. We need to become aware of that, not just in yoga, but in everyday life. This time, we're going to inhale, drop the seats, arms reach up, Utkatasana, chair pose. You can do chair pose with the feet together or the feet apart, but the knees have to stay the same distance as the ankles. With an exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back. You can move through a vinyasa like we have been, or you can come to downward facing dog. With your next inhale, lift the right leg high. Lift from the inner thigh and the center of the heel. Press the left thigh bone back to lengthen both sides of the lower back evenly. As you inhale, lift the abdomen. And as you exhale, step the foot through between the hands. Inhale, rise. Warrior one at the top of the breath. Exhale, ground the palms. Step back. Move through a vinyasa. Lowering chaturanga. Lift the heart. Upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Lift from the inner thigh, the center of the heel. The foot is flexed and active, pointing down. That right thigh bone roots back to lengthen both sides of the lower back evenly. One more big inhale. And exhale, step the foot through between the hands. Inhale, rise. Warrior one at the top of the breath. Exhale, ground the palms. Step back. Move through a vinyasa or come to downward facing dog. Your choice. Always an option to take child's pose for a few breaths as we rest between sun salutation. Remembering that this practice is your practice And you must listen to and honor your body, finding the edge, knowing when to push a little bit further, and knowing when the body needs to be, needs to relax. Have one more big breath. And then with an inhale, gaze forward, step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply over the legs. Inhale, drop the seat, arms reach up, Utkatasana. Exhale, stand tall, Tadasana. Inhale, arms reach up, drop the seat, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back and lower, or come to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lift the hips. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, step it through between the hands. And inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, ground the palms, step back. Move through a vinyasa or come to downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg high. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Exhale, release, ground the palms, step back. Move through a vinyasa or come to down dog or child's pose. Whatever choice you make, be with your breath. With an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply into the legs. Inhale, drop the seat, arms reach up, Utkatasana. Exhale, stand tall, Tadasana. Inhale, arms reach up, drop the seat, Utkatasana. Hold for a moment. Sticking your thigh bones back and your booty out gets you low. Drawing the center of the buttocks into the midline lifts the frontal hip bones, letting you lean back to stack the vertebrae. The alignment principles are the same in all the shapes, we just have to learn to find them. With your next exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, ground the palms, step or jump back and lower. Inhale, lift the heart, roll the shoulders back. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg high. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, rise. Warrior one to hold. So that same action of sticking the back thigh bone back and inner rotating it to bring the left hip in line with the right. The legs hug energetically towards each other to facilitate that so the tailbone can ground down. And from that grounding, we lift abdomen, heart, and crown. 3 breaths. And with an exhale, release. Ground the palms, step back. Move through a vinyasa, lower into chaturanga, or come to downward facing dog. With an inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, rise, warrior one. Finding that activation of the legs, creating the balance and evenness in the pelvis. Draw the legs towards each other. Inner rotate the back thigh to bring the right hip forward and the left hip back. Root the tailbone down. Inhale, lift the abdomen, the heart and the crown. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And then exhale and release. Ground the palms, step back. Move through a vinyasa or come to down dog or child's pose. Your choice. Wherever you find yourself, return to the breath. Feel that heat that is being generated in the body through the practice. And use it Breathe it into the places that feel tight and sore and stuck. And as you exhale, see what you can soften and let go of. With an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply over the legs. Inhale, drop the seat, arms reach up, Utkatasana. Exhale, stand tall, Tadasana. Good. This time, inhale, arms reach up, drop the seat, Utkatasana. Exhale, the hands to the heart and twist to the right. The left elbow comes outside the right knee. Notice how that left knee wants to come forward. Draw it back. Widen the left inner thigh to the left to stabilize the pelvis. Inhale, lift the abdomen. Press the palms together to roll the shoulders back. Have one more deep, long breath. And then inhale it back to center. Exhale the hands to the heart and twist to the left. Right elbow comes outside the left knee. Draw the right knee back. Widen the right inner thigh to the right. Inhale, lift the abdomen. Press the palms together to roll the shoulders back. Have one more deep, long breath. And inhale it back to center. Exhale, come to stand. Release the arms down by your sides. Good. So, we want to look for that same level of engagement that we created in the legs while they were bent, while they're straight in the next pose. So we're gonna, with the hands on the hips, step the left leg back. It's a pretty long stance, but then the same thing, we're drawing the legs energetically towards each other, which takes the thigh bones back a little bit to get the hips to face forward. Lift and spread the toes. Stretch them out. Ground them down. Root the tailbone down. Inhale, lift the abdomen, the heart, and the crown. Exhale, begin to fold forward, hinging at the hips, maintaining the balance and evenness in the pelvis. The thigh bones press back to lengthen the lower spine. You can keep your hands on your hips. You can interlace them behind your back, or you can release them down to the floor outside the foot. Either way, you can see your legs and you can see what's going on there. Often we need to press the thigh bones back, press down through the heels and the balls of the big toe to hug the muscles to the bones. Inhale, lift the abdomen, lengthen the spine, and exhale, fold more deeply into that straight front leg for 3 more deep, long breaths. With an inhale, lift the abdomen and lift the gaze. Take a slight bend in the front knee, scoot the fingertips out. With your next inhale, lift the left leg. Come to stand on the straight right leg. Lift from the inner thigh in the center of the heel. Press out through the front of both heels. As you inhale, lift the abdomen, gain length. As you exhale, hinging at the hips, fold forward to lift that back leg higher. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. With an inhale, rise. Come to stand on that right leg. Interlace the hands behind the left thigh, or take yogi toe lock, peace fingers around the left big toe. With that standing thigh bone back, extend the left heel forward. The hands are under the leg, or either way, you want to make sure you keep the standing thigh bone back and press the leg down, the lifted thigh bone down, to lengthen both sides of the pelvis evenly. You can stay right here, or you can bring your hands to the hips for 3 more deep, long breaths. Point the toe. With an inhale, draw the knee in, and exhale, turn it out to the side. So we're coming into tree pose, and you can ground your foot on the inner thigh or the inner ankle. Do you want to go above or below the knee joint? Pressing the standing thigh bone back and the lifted thigh bone down. Bring the hands to the heart. Hug everything into the midline of the body. Press down to lift up. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an inhale, bring it all back to center. And exhale, release the foot to the floor. With your next inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, ground the palm, step or jump back. Come to down dog or lower, chaturanga namaskara. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lift the hips. Have a breath here, feeling the different sensations, the different sides of the body. And then with an inhale, float forward into plank pose. Exhale, shift the weight to the right hand and the outer edge of the right foot for side plank. You can stay with the feet stacked on top of each other. You can step the left leg forward for support, or you can take the left foot to the inner calf or thigh for the tree pose variation. Either way, you're pressing down into the ground to lift the body up. Stacking the bones and joints in the back body plane. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an exhale, release. Ground the palms. You can exhale and lower, chaturanga, or press back, downward facing dog. Return to your breath in down dog or child's pose. Just for a moment. Then we'll meet in downward facing dog. And with your next inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. Good work. Moving to cultivate that balance through the practice. Hands on the hips, step the right leg back. The right foot grounds at a slight ankle, turning out, but the legs hug together. We inner rotate the back thigh to bring the right hip in line with the left. Lift and spread the toes, stretch them out, ground them down. Root the tailbone down and inhale, lift and lengthen through the crown. Exhale, begin to hinge at the hips, drawing the heart forward and down. Pressing the thigh bones back to lengthen the lower spine. You can see what is happening in the legs here. So make sure the muscles are hugged into the bones. Take whatever variation you took on the other side with the arms. Having 3 more deep, long breaths. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, fold more deeply. With an inhale, lift the chest and lift the gaze. Take a slight bend in the left knee. Scoot the fingertips out, and with an inhale, rise, lifting the right leg, standing on the straight left leg. With the toes flexed and active, pointing down, lift from the inner thigh and the center of the heel. As you press out through both heels, that standing thigh bone rooting back. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen, lift the abdomen. Exhale, fold more deeply. Lifting the back leg higher for 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an inhale, rise. Interlace the hands behind the right thigh, or take yogi toe lock around the right big toe. Left thigh bone back as you extend the right heel forward, rooting that right thigh bone down so both sides of the pelvis are evenly grounded. You can stay right here, or if you did so on the other side, take the hands to the hips and point the toes. 3 breaths. Inhale the knee into the chest. Exhale, turn it out. Round the foot on the inner calf or thigh, above or below the knee joint. Bring the hands to the heart. Everything hugs into the midline of the body. The standing thigh bone presses back. The lifted thigh bone presses down. The energy extends from the tailbone through the standing leg, through the floor, connecting you to the earth. This is tree pose. And then inhale, lift the abdomen, lift the arms, extend the torso up. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Feeling how the balance in the body is never actually static, but it's an elaborate dance of opposing forces. With your next inhale, bring it back to center, and exhale, release. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen. Exhale, ground the palm, step or jump back. Come to down dog or move through a vinyasa, lowering to chaturanga. Lift the heart, up dog. Press back, down dog. Return to your breath. And then with an inhale, float forward into plank and shift the weight onto the left hand and the outer edge of the left foot. You can stay here, stacking the feet. You can step the right leg forward for support, or you can bring the right foot into the calf or thigh for tree pose. Either way, what is on the earth presses into the earth to lift the body up. Lean into the back body to stack the vertebrae, to stack the shoulders. Have 3 more breaths. And with an exhale, release. Press back to down dog or child's pose, or lower into chaturanga. Lift the heart, roll the shoulders back. Lift the hips, downward dog. With an inhale, gaze forward. Step or jump the feet to meet the hands. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, reach the arms up and overhead, come to stand. Exhale, release the arms down by your sides. Good. So we're gonna do some standing poses with the hips open and the side body plank. And if you wanna do the vinyasa between sides, you're welcome to do that. I'm gonna just stand this way so that you can see me and I can see what's happening. So you're gonna take your feet as wide as the mat. No, not as wide as the mat. Take your feet wide. Turn the left foot in slightly and the right foot out all the way. With an exhale, take a deep bend in the front knee right over the front ankle. That knee has to drop back so that it stays over the ankle. The back thigh bone inner rotates slightly, and then it also presses back to fully open the hips in the side body plane so the tailbone grounds down right in the center. From that grounding, inhale and draw the legs energetically towards each other. Lift the abdomen towards the spine. Lift through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, extend out in all directions through the 4 corners of the hands, the feet, the crown of the head. Gaze over the front fingertips. for 3 more breaths. Remembering that we are connected to the earth, and when the practice gets tough, we can draw the qualities up from her of strength, stability, and steadiness. With your next inhale, straighten your front leg. Again, we're lifting and spreading the toes, feeling the muscles hug into the bones, stretching the toes out and grounding them down, keeping the muscles hugging into the bones. With an exhale, widen the back hip back. Cut the front thigh bone back towards the back thigh bone so the pelvis shifts. The side bodies stay long as you come down into your triangle pose. You can rest your hand on your ankle or on a block of the floor behind your foot. But either way, you want to see that from the top of the thigh, we turn the leg, the front leg out. The back thigh is still inner rotating slightly, and then the back hip lifts up and draws back. Lift and spread the toes, stretch them out, ground them down, engage the muscles in the legs. Lift the top arm up. Draw the abdomen back and turn it back to the left for 3 breaths. And with an inhale, rise. Exhale, take the deep bend in the knee again. You can bring the elbow onto the knee, or you can bring the fingertips onto the floor behind your foot. If the hand's behind the foot, you can press the knee and the arm together. The back thigh presses back, and from the tailbone, we press down through the back edge of the back foot. Inhale, reach the arm over the ear. Create one long line of energy through the whole body. Inhale, pull the legs energetically towards each other. Exhale, extend in all directions. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Bringing that left hand onto the left hip. You're gonna hop the back foot in. I'm gonna scoot my front foot back a little so I stay on the mat. Scoot the fingertips out and press down into the right big toe now to lift the left leg. Stacking the hips and shoulders. Press out through both heels. Press the standing thigh bone back. Inner rotate the lifted thigh and lift the leg up. Maybe you want to lift that left arm up. Inhale, pull everything in and up from the floor to the core. And exhale, extend in all directions. 3 more deep, long breaths. With an exhale, bend the standing knee. Drop that foot off behind you. Parsvakonasana. Inhale, warrior 2. Straighten the leg in triangle prep. And then we're going to turn the feet to face forward. And come into that series of poses on the other side. So the right foot turns in slightly, and the left foot turns out all the way. With an exhale, take a deep bend in the left knee. Stacking the knee right over the ankle. Drawing the knee back so it stays over the ankle. Inner rotate the back thigh slightly, and then press the thigh bone back, opening the hips fully in the side body plane so that tailbone roots down right between the sits bones. And from that grounding, inhale and hug the inner thighs together. Draw the energy in and up. Lift the abdomen. Strength, stability, steadiness. As you exhale, press out through the 4 corners of the hands, feet, crown of the head. Gaze over the front fingertips for 3 more breaths. With an inhale, straighten that front leg. Lift and spread the toes, stretch them out, ground them down. As you exhale, begin to widen the back inner thigh back. Cut the front thigh bone towards the back thigh bone to shift the pelvis. Stretch the side bodies long as you come down into triangle pose. Bring your hand to the shin, the block or the floor behind your leg. And then just feeling what's happening in the legs. A lot of us hyperextend and sink into the knee joint. So if that's the case, take a slight bend in the knees. Lift up from the back of the knees to the sits bones. Press down from the back of the knees through the heels. Inhale, lift the back hip up and draw back. Exhale, turn that front thigh bone out and press it back towards the back thigh bone. Inhale, the abdomen draws back, and exhale, turn to the right. 3 more deep, long breaths. With an inhale, rise. Exhale, the deep bend in the front knee. You can bring the elbow onto the knee, stacking the bones and joints, ankle, knee, elbow, shoulder, or the hands to the floor behind your foot, pressing the knee and the arm together. The back thigh bone inner rotates, presses back, and from the tailbone, root down through the back heel and the back edge of the back foot. With an inhale, from that grounding, stretch both side bodies long. Create one long line of energy through your whole body. As you inhale, draw the legs together, draw the abdomen back. As you exhale, turn the torso back to the right. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Bring that right hand to the hip. Hop the back foot in. Scoot the fingertips out in front of you. Press down through the left big toe mound and inhale, rise for half moon pose. Stacking the hips and shoulders in the side body plane. Press through both heels. That standing leg thigh bone roots back. Lifted leg thigh bone turns in and lifts up. Press through the palms. Inhale, pull everything into the center. And exhale, extend it out. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an exhale, bend the left knee. Drop the right foot off behind you. Parsva Konasana, Warrior 2, Triangle Prep Pose. Turn both feet to face forward, outer edge of the feet parallel with outer edge of the mat. Hands on the hips. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. You can bring the hands or the head to the floor. Either way, you want to press down into the hands to lift the shoulders away from the ears. Lift and spread the toes, stretch them out, ground them down. Don't let the ankles fall in or out. Center them right over the foot. Stack the hips over the knees and ankles. From the back of the knees, lift up. Lift the frontal hip bones. From the back of the knees, press down. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. With an inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Ground the left hand under the face and bring the right hand onto the sacrum, that triangular bone at the base of your spine. So we want the sacrum parallel to the earth. If it's tilted back towards the floor, that means you have to lift from the back of the knees up. If it's dropped forward, that means you need to lift the frontal hip bones up. We want to keep it stable as we twist, so we're widening the left inner thigh to the left. As you inhale, lift the abdomen and lift the right arm up. Press through the palms to roll the shoulders into the back body and have 3 breaths. With an exhale, release. Fold forward for another moment. And then with an inhale, gaze forward. Lengthen your spine. Ground the right hand under the face. Make sure the sacrum is parallel to the earth. Widen the right inner thigh to the right to stabilize the pelvis. Inhale, lift the left arm up for that twist. Press out through the palms to draw the shoulders back. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an exhale, release. Bring the hands onto the hips. Draw the elbows back and ground down to inhale and lift up. Step or jump the feet together. And come back to the top of the mat. With an inhale, lift the arms up. With an exhale, fold forward over the legs. Inhale, gaze forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, ground the palm, step or jump back. You can come to down dog, child's pose, or exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, lift the hips. Wherever you find yourself in downward dog or child's pose, return to your breath. Notice the quality of your breath now after your practice. Notice where in the body you're still holding tension and where some things may have shifted. Observe the speed of the thoughts through the mind in this moment. And then with an inhale, you're gonna jump the feet through the hands or just make your way to a comfortable seated position. The secret to jumping the feet through the hands is to keep the hips lifted high. Good. We're gonna ground the fingertips behind us. Lean into the back body, roll the shoulders back. Inhale, lift the shins parallel to the earth for boat pose. You can stay right here, or you can extend the arms by the legs. Maybe you want to straighten the legs without compromising that broadness in the chest. Let's have 5 deep, long breaths. With an exhale, release. You're going to extend the legs out in front of you. Ground the fingertips behind you, fingertips facing towards you. With an inhale, lift the pelvis, the low back, the middle back. Press the feet down towards the floor. Extend the crown of the head back. If this is too much, you can always bend the knees and ground the feet under the ankles. Let's have 3 more deep, long breaths. Inhale. And exhale. And with that third exhale, lower the pelvis to the floor. And come to lay down on your back with the knees bent, feet grounded in close to the buttocks. Press the back of the head and the back of the shoulders down. They become part of your foundation in this pose. With an inhale, lift the pelvis, the low back, the middle back. If it feels good, you can interlace the hands beneath the back to roll the shoulders under, or just turn the palms to face up. Whatever is on the ground presses firmly down into the ground to lift the back of the heart away from the upper arms. Extend from the heart out through the tailbone and knees. Extend from the heart out through the crown of the head. Have 1 more big breath. And with an exhale, release the hips to the mat. Resist the urge to draw the knees into the chest. You can take the feet wide and sway the knees gently from side to side, if that feels good to you. We're gonna do a couple more back bends, and you're welcome to do the bridge pose again, if you prefer. Or we're gonna try it with 1 leg. So bending the knees in close, grounding the feet close to the buttocks, making sure the outer edge of the feet are parallel with the outer edge of the mat and that you don't let the feet turn out as you lift the hips, because that's gonna compress the lower back. Extend the right leg up. Press the back of the head and the shoulders into the floor. And with an inhale, lift the pelvis, the low back, the middle back. Interlace the hands beneath you to roll the shoulders under, or just turn the palms to face up. Everything that's on the ground presses firmly into the ground to lift the back of the heart and to lift that right heel more. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And with that third exhale, keep the leg lifted as you release. Lower the right leg to the mat. Pause and have a breath. And then we're gonna, if you did so on the other side, extend the left leg up. Otherwise, just do regular bridge pose again. Pressing the back of the head and the shoulders down. With an inhale, lift the pelvis, the low back, the middle back. Interlace the hands beneath the back or just roll the shoulders under, palms face up. Everything presses down to lift the heart and the heel higher. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an exhale, lower the pelvis, keep the leg lifted. And lastly, lower the leg onto the mat. Take the feet as wide as the mat and exhale the legs over to the right side. Allow the low body to be heavy. And inhale, reach the fingertips away from the pelvic bowl. Breathe length and space into each vertebrae in the spine. As you exhale completely, soften more deeply. Inhale it back to center. And exhale the legs up and over to the other side. Allowing the low body to be heavy. Inhale and breathe that length and space into each vertebrae. Exhale, soften more deeply into the support of the ground beneath you. Allow yourself to be held. With an inhale, bring it back to center. Extend the left leg out along the mat and lift the right leg up. You can interlace the hands behind the right thigh or place a belt or a dog leash or a strap around the arch and the ball of the right foot, or take yogi to lock, those peace fingers. Whatever version you take, we're pressing out through both heels. We're rooting both thigh bones down, the whole midline of the left leg towards the floor, and the right thigh bone away from the crown of the head, pressing the leg into the hands if they're behind the back, to lengthen both sides of the lower back evenly. Then maintaining that length, draw the leg more actively towards yourself. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. Breathing into the places that feel tight and sore and stuck. And as you exhale, softening into the support of the ground beneath you. Press the whole left side body down to the floor, and with an exhale, begin to slowly open the right leg to the right side. Outer edge of the right foot comes down parallel to the floor. Continuing to press the left thigh bone down, press out through both heels, and root the right thigh bone down. So we're not letting that right hip creep up towards the right shoulder. As you exhale, soften the abdomen back and turn it back to the left, grounding the ribs and kidneys evenly. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. With an inhale, bring that leg back to center. And we're gonna switch sides. So you're now holding the leg or the foot with the left hand. Recommit to your activation in the legs. Press through both heels and the balls of both feet. Root both thigh bones down in their respective directions. And then we're gonna slowly begin to take the right leg across the left side body. We want to keep the left toes flexed and active, pointing up, and keep that outer right hip rooting down. If it's too intense with the leg straight, you can just bend the knee and then roll over onto the outside of the left foot and take a twist like that. Wherever you are working, have 3 more deep, long breaths. And then with an inhale, bring it back to center. And exhale, lower that right leg to the mat. Shimmy out the hips a little bit. Observe the different sensations and the different sides of your body. And then with an inhale, lift the left leg high. Take whatever variations of these shapes you took on the other side. Maybe interlacing the hands behind the left thigh. Maybe taking yogi toe out with the left big toes. Left peace fingers around the left big toe. Either way, pressing out through both heels. Pressing the whole midline of the right leg towards the floor and the left thigh bone away from the crown of the head to lengthen the lower back. And then draw the leg more actively towards yourself. And have 3 deep, long breaths. Breathing into the places that feel tight and sore and stuck. And as you exhale completely, softening more deeply. Go ahead. Pressing the whole right side body down, and then with an exhale, slowly taking the left leg out to the left side. If you're holding onto the thigh, you're going to support the left leg with the left hand. If you have yogi toe lock, that's also fine. Either way, pressing through both heels, pressing the right leg down, rooting the left thigh bone away from the crown of the head, making space on both sides of the lower back. As you exhale, soften the abdomen and turn it back to the right. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And then with an inhale, bring it to center and support the leg with the other hand, or take yogi toe lock with the right hand around the left big toe. Commit to your activation of both legs, pressing through the heels, pressing through the balls of the feet, rooting the thigh bones down. Take whatever variation you took on the other side. So if you keep the legs straight, we want to keep the right toes flexed and active, pointing up, and the inner thigh grounding down. If you decided that this version of the twist is too much, you can bend the knee and roll to the outside of the right foot. Spread the arms wide for a twist. If you're staying on your back, if you're staying with your legs straight, make sure the outer left hip roots towards the right heel. Have 3 more deep, long breaths. And with an inhale, bring it back to center. Release the leg to the mat. Shimmy out the hips a little bit. And then draw the knees in, reach through the feet to grab the outer edge of the feet for happy baby. Stack the ankles over the knees. Keep the head and shoulders grounded. Root the tailbone down. The hands pull on the feet and the feet push on the hands. And then you can move in any way that feels good to you within the confines of the shapes. This is the final pose of the practice. Whenever you are ready, you can relax, release, and open into Shavasana, final relaxation. Allowing the feet to rest as wide as the hips and fall open. Again, if there's any discomfort in the lower back, bend the knees, ground the feet as wide as the mat, and let the knees fall towards each other. The palms rest facing up at like a 30-degree angle from the body. Return the awareness to the breath. Allow the breath to be deep, so deep and so long that it touches into the bottoms of the feet and the tips of the toes. And as you exhale completely, allow any residual tension, anxiety, negativity to leave the body with the breath through the fingertips. So through this practice of yoga in general, and Shavasana in particular, the body is cleared out. We let go of the habits and patterns that are no longer serving us and make space for new energy, ideas, and opportunities to come through the body and into our lives. Please rest here for at least 7 minutes. I'm so grateful to share the practice with you. And I'm so grateful for the people and cultures that created the practice and came before us, that shared it with us. Namaste. I hope you have a beautiful day.